Do I look cool? I feel like I look cool with this around my neck. Today we're going to be taking a look at a new film camera that I bought. It is the Mamiya 7 with an f4 65mm lens. So kind of the reason I bought this film camera is, for the last year now, my main medium format camera has been the Hasselblad 500cm, which was a great introduction camera for me for medium format. But, it's been a year now, and I kind of just got tired of the 6x6 square format, and I kind of thought, it was a little bit too restricting. So that's why I kind of wanted to branch out into the 6x7 format. So the Mamiya 7 is actually a kind of recent film camera compared to others. It was released in 1995, and then the version 2, which is basically just the same as the first one, except the body is black instead of gray, was released in 1999. Now this thing has a really quiet shutter, and it might just be me, but one thing I do love about film cameras is the defined like harsh shutter sound that they have that unfortunately this one just lacks, so it makes it that much a little bit less fun shooting with. The images that I get with this camera are great. They're in super sharp focus, and then also because of the larger negative, I'm able to get a lot more detail out of my images, which is nice. And then so far, the 65mm lens has been working good for me. It was kind of, difficult for me at first to kind of pick which lens I wanted to go with because, I would be stuck with it for a while. So I kind of just chose in the middle, of the range of lenses I had to choose from because I had, options of like a 43, a 50, 65, 80, 150, and then 200. So like I mentioned, I just decided to choose in the middle. So then kind of, in the future, if I want to, I can go wider or tighter if I want to. Now the main reason I chose the Mamiya 7 over other 6x7 format cameras is because of its size. It really doesn't weigh that much, and when you take the lens off of the body, it really does just leave a small footprint in your camera bag, which is really nice when you have a lot of gear or if you're traveling. Sometimes it is really hard to tell what's in focus, mainly because, like certain things you're focusing on just have so much detail on them that you can't like see shit through it. And then also, sometimes my glasses fog up, which makes it just extra harder, but I still do enjoy the Rangefinder focusing system. I think it is pretty cool. This is also the first rangefinder camera I've ever shot with / owned, and at first I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult than it was, because when people kind of talk about rangefinder cameras, you're like, that doesn't sound, fun at all. Why would I want to shoot that? But it is actually pretty simple. When focusing the camera, you kind of just have to line up the two images that appear, which, as I'm saying this out loud, definitely sounds, a little weird if you've never looked through a viewfinder camera before. And then I also thought I was going to have a hard time lining up my shot, because rangefinders, unlike SLR, viewfinders, they are offset to the left. So what you're seeing through the rangefinder isn't exactly what's going to be on your negative. Unlike, SLR viewfinders, what you see, is exactly what you're going to get. So that did make it, seem a little bit, daunting at first. But, it's actually pretty simple. I really just, end up, moving my camera a little bit more to the right. So, I get more of an accurate shot. Alright, that is the roll. It is now all done. I've only had this camera for a month and a half now, and I've only shot a couple rolls with it so far, but I already really enjoy shooting with it. And I'm also going to be taking an 8-day road trip next week, so I'll definitely be able to use this a lot more, which I'm really excited for. Now, the only real downside to this camera for most people is the price. If you're lucky, the least you're going to be spending for one is around $3,000, which is kind of a lot for a film camera, but the reason these things are so expensive is because they are very popular for street photography because of their rangefinder, quiet shutter, and compact size. And then also the actual shutter isn't in the body itself, they're actually in the lenses. So a lens itself is going to cost around $1,000, for each lens you get. And, that can add up, especially as you can get 6 different lenses for this camera. So depending on how serious you are about film photography, this might not be the camera for you, but this is a great camera for me. And kind of, no matter how many 6x7 medium format cameras I end up getting in the future, I don't think this one would ever be replaced as my go-to one, simply because, just of that compact size, which I keep, mentioning over and over again, because, it is just so great, especially for traveling, which, I hope to do a lot more in the future when things go back to normal and after I graduate.